My name's Marco Rubio. I'm a senator from Florida. And let me just tell you, everywhere I go, whether it's in the airports, the restaurants, the park with my kids, people come up, people are really, really hurting. And here's the stories that I hear. I hear stories from kids or their parents, they went to college, they did everything that they were told they needed to do. They got an education, they got a good grade, they got good grades, they graduated, and now they can't find a job. Or about people that now are working twice as hard as I've ever worked and are making half as much. People are really hurting around this country as the unemployment situation goes unaddressed. We know the figures are at 9.1, 9.2%. In Florida, it's over 10%. It's a lot worse than that. You have people out there that have been unemployed for 6 months, a year. You know how hard it is to get back into the workforce when you've been unemployed for that long? People are really, really hurting, and they're not in any way amused. They're not in any way think it's funny that people here in Washington spend all their time and energy screaming at each other and doing this political posturing. Now, over the next 24 hours, you're going to find just one more chapter in this absurd political theater where the president offers a so-called jobs bill. Okay? Basically, it's called, to me, it's son of stimulus. It's stimulus 2.0. Now, if $800 billion of stimulus spending didn't do anything to address unemployment, then why would $400 billion more of stimulus spending do anything about unemployment? I think we need to listen to the people that create jobs, and as bruising as it may be to the ego of politicians, politicians don't create jobs. Jobs are created by real people in the real world who go out and take their money and decide, I'm going to use this money to start a business or to grow my business. And behind me today are 3 or 4 people that do that and have done that before. Let's listen to them and what they're saying that we need to do. I understand that that may not fit within the framework of what some people in this town want to do. I understand that it's not pleasant to see your numbers upside down in the polls and you're desperate to get reelected, so you have to go out and do something. But aren't there any issues in America that are so sacred and so important that they should be dealt with separately from the politics of it? Let's have a real jobs bill. And there are things that I think Republicans and Democrats can agree on. Let's focus on those things. There are some philosophical things we're not going to agree on, and that's why in this country we have elections. But let's find the 5, 6, 10, 15 things that do create jobs that we do agree on, and let's get to work on those. And more, instead of wasting time with these votes that are all designed to check a box, it's like some political advisors telling the president and the leaders of the majority here are the issues we want you to force votes on because they poll really well. Meanwhile, you know what? Real people are angry and they're hurting. They'll struggle to make their mortgage payment next month. They're dipping into their kids' college account while people in this town play political games. You can't get out of this mess without private sector. No matter how much that may hurt the feelings of government people, it takes the private sector to create jobs. And what they're telling us up and down the board is that these things are not going to do it. So let's listen to the job creators and create an environment where they can go out and do what Americans have done better than anyone in the history of the world, and that's grow an economy and create jobs. These people haven't run out of good ideas. They haven't forgotten how to start a business or grow a business. They just need a government that makes it easier for them to do that, not harder. And I don't care what the president calls his bill. I'm not supporting anything that makes it harder for them to grow the economy. I'm not supporting anything that makes it harder for them to start businesses or expand existing businesses. I did not run for office and come to Washington, D.C. to double down on the policies of this administration that took a bad situation and made it worse. That instead of leading us 50 miles an hour in the wrong direction, now they want to take us 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. So it's time to get serious about this jobs thing. And I'll tell you right now, I will work with anyone who is willing to take this issue seriously, and I hope I'll have the chance to do that in the days to come. And let me just thank David, Gail, and Bob again for being a part of this effort and lending their voices to this cause.